ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुक्तपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपा सग्रजता साधना रघुनाथं सज्जगम् साद्वैतं सवधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदा साधना ललिता श्रीविशाखाभितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So Hare Krishna. So we stop at chapter 7, text number what last week?
We stop at 726, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. You want to give us some revision? Remind us very quickly.
Okay, 1 second. So first we tackled verse 25. In that verse, we discussed that Krishna is never manifested by the foolish and the unintelligent, because Krishna has two Mayas, the Mahamaya and the Yogamaya. He told us that each Mayas have three energies. And so for the Mahamaya, we have the three modes of material nature, the goodness, passion, and ignorance. For the Yogamaya, there are three too, Ladini Shakti, Samvit, and Sandini. So for Mahamaya, we discussed that this energy covers the living entities, which makes them think that they can be happy in this material world. On the other hand, we have Yogamaya, which prevents the living entities actually, for them to be able to see Krishna. So because of this Yogamaya, even devotees that are close to Krishna, they develop contempt against him. So in this topic, you mentioned Shishupal, right, in his story, and also Pundraka, their story. So even though they were close to Krishna, they were associated with him, they couldn't help themselves but belittle Krishna, even though they don't believe that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they tried to put him down, mock him, and so because of that, they were punished. And that's because of Yogamaya. Okay, for 726, we discussed about, what do we discuss? I don't have notes for 726, Prabhu. Maybe the others have.
Actually, we're just talking about the 726 Vedanta Batmanani, but when Krishna explained how is the he knows the present, he knows the past, he knows the future, he knows every living entity, but to him no one knows. So it's part of the explanation of the previous one. It's like the continuation of the text 25. Okay. So we're going to, let's start from 26. 26 is a very nice verse. Everybody should memorize them also. Memorize it. Okay. Vedaham sanmati tani vatamnani shajuna vafishyani chakutani mamtu vedana kaschana. O Arjuna, as the supreme personality of Godhead, I know the I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. It is how very confidential knowledge of Krishna is. That is why the chapter 9 is titled The Most Confidential Knowledge. Knowledge of Krishna is very confidential, very, very confidential. Krishna told Arjuna in chapter 4 that, what did Krishna say to Arjuna? Rasyam e uttamam. Bhakto sime sakashe iti. What is the meaning? We want to translate it for us. Bhakto sime sakashe iti rahasam e uttamam. What is the translation of that? That two lines. We want to translate the two lines for us. Bhakto sime sakashe iti. Rahasyam. Rahasya means very confidential. So Krishna told Arjuna in chapter 4 that this my knowledge is very confidential, but if you are my devotee and my friend, then you can understand it. That is chapter 4, text number, is it 3? Can confirm.
Yes, Prabhuji, it's verse 3.
Yeah. Read the Sanskrit for us.
स एवयं मया ते दया योगा प्रोक्ता पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं है एतद् उत्तमम्.
Yeah.
That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science.
Yes. So it's very confidential knowledge. It's called Rahasya. Rahasya means very confidential. So knowledge of Krishna is very, very confidential. Unless one is a Bhakto, Bhakta, or Saka, or friend, you cannot understand. Bhakto Sime Saka Sheti. So that is why Krishna is saying here, I know everything, I know everyone, I know past, present, and future. For me, no one knows because knowledge of Krishna is very confidential. You don't enter into that realm unless you are a devotee and a friend of Krishna. You cannot understand him. You cannot understand Krishna just by speculating. Oh, you studying the Vedas, studying the scripture, and no, you cannot understand him. Only when he mentioned Dulabam Adulabam Atma Bhakto. In Brahma Samhita it is mentioned. Dularbam Adulabam Atma Bhakto. You say, very difficult to understand by studying the Vedas. Vedeshu Dularbam, Vedeshu. By studying the Vedas, Dularbam, very difficult to understand. Adulabam Atma Bhakto. But it's very easy for the devotee to understand him. So unless we are a devotee and a friend of Krishna, you cannot understand Krishna. So that is why Krishna is saying here, Arjuna, I know everybody, I know everything. I know all living entities, I know past, present, and future, but me, no one knows. Okay, so let's read the purpose.
Okay, I read Prabhu.
Yeah, please.
Of personality and impersonality is stated. If Krishna, the form as the impersonalists consider him to be, then like the living entity, he would change his body and forget everything about his past life. Anyone with a material body cannot remember his past life, nor can he foretell his future life, nor can he predict the outcome of his present life. Therefore, he cannot know what is happening in past, present, and future. Unless one is liberated from material contamination, he cannot know past, present, and future. Unlike the ordinary human being, Lord Krishna clearly says that he completely knows what happened in the past, what is happening in the present, and what will happen in the future. In the 4th chapter, we have seen that Lord Krishna remembers instructing Vivaswan, the sun god, millions of years ago. Krishna knows every living entity because he is situated in every living being's heart as the super soul. But despite his presence in every living entity as super soul and his presence as a supreme personality of Godhead, the less intelligent, even if able to realize the impersonal Brahman, cannot realize Sri Krishna as the supreme person. Certainly, the transcendental body of Sri Krishna is not perishable. He is just like the sun. Maya is like a cloud. In the material world, we can say that there is the sun and that there are clouds and different stars and planets. The clouds may cover all this in the sky temporarily, but this covering is only apparent to our limited vision. The sun, moon, and stars are not actually covered. Similarly, Maya cannot cover the Supreme Lord. By his internal potency, he is not to the less intelligent and millions of men of life. And out of thousands and thousands of such perfected men, hardly one can understand what Lord Krishna is. Even if one is perfected by realization of impersonal Brahma or localized Paramatma, he cannot possibly understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, without being in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
That is reconfirming in that year. If one understand about the impersonal aspect of Krishna or the Paramatman aspect of Krishna, still if one is not a devotee or in Krishna consciousness, one cannot understand the supreme personality of God. Actually, to talk about it is very, very difficult to comprehend the personality of God. Very difficult. Because our mundane brain is always thinking in terms of this material nature. So we are trying to limit, if God also has a form, it must be limited like us. So we are thinking in a material condition way. We don't understand the spiritual dimension. We don't understand. And for majority of people, they don't want to understand that. They don't want to understand. Because they are trying to box God into this material sphere. They are using the material calculation, the material analysis, the material understanding to try to understand the spirituality, which is not comparable at all. Spiritual dimension is completely different from material dimension. You cannot compare them. You cannot, it's incomparable. Spiritual dimension is, okay, let us analyze it like this. How is it possible for you to understand a place that is always present? There's no past and future. You tell me how you can understand such a place. Think about it. Try to comprehend that. Do you understand now? It's incomparable, it's unfathomable. A place that is always at present. There is no past. There is no future. It's unfathomable, it's inconceivable. Because what we have been experiencing is past, present, and we are thinking of future, which many of us don't know. So we are used to these three dimensions of realm. But we cannot comprehend the one dimension realm, that there is no past and future. We cannot comprehend that at all. So that is why many people, it's easier for them to understand the impersonal aspect of God. Okay, God is a light. Okay, it's understandable. It's all right. Or God is a super soul in the heart of all. Okay, it's okay. But as a supreme person, no, it must not be. Because if he's a supreme person, then he must be limited like me. So for us, it's inconceivable. Inconceivable, that is it. That is why it's mentioned in the Sri Brahmasimhita, Advaitam, Achutam, Anandim, Anantarupam, Adyapurano Purusham, Navayovenam Cha, Vedeshu Dularvam Adularvam Atmabhakto, Govinda Madipurusham, Tamambajami. You see? So he said, Bedeshu Dulaba Madulaba Matmabakto. He said, Advaitam is describing Krishna here. Advaitam, who is Krishna? Is Advaitam, non-dual. It's one, Advaitam. Achutam, infallible. It never falls. Advaitam, Achutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. Anadim is unlimited. Anantarupam, his form is unlimited. He has unlimited forms. How can you understand such personality? Advaitam, Achutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. Adya Purano Purusha. Adya Purano Purusha. Even though he's the origin of everything, Adya Purano is still the oldest person. He's the origin of everything, but he's the oldest person. Adya Purano Purusha. Even though he's the oldest person, the next words describe him. Navayovenamcha. Adya Purano Purusham Navayovenamcha. Even though he's the oldest person, he's the origin of everything, but he always remains youthful. Navayovenamcha. That is God. Krishna is the oldest, or is the origin of everything. He's the oldest person. It's not like the way we were taught when we were growing up in the Christendom, that God has a white beard, an old man, sitting on the throne. No, that is not the supreme God. The supreme God, even though he's the oldest person, he never grew beyond the age of 16 years. His eternal form is not beyond the age of 16 years. Always very youthful, very beautiful. When we reach the age of 16 years, that is when we reach the peak of our beauty. When we are in the age of 16, you look very young, very fresh, So Krishna never grew beyond that age. 16 years. Is the origin of everything, is the oldest person, but is always very young. How can we understand such abode being described like this? Where such personality reside? It is mentioned in Brahma Samhita. In that abode, every water is a nectar. Here we always like to drink carbonated water, sugar water, because that is our original. We like sweet things. We like sweets. We like to eat sweets. But whenever we try to eat sweet, we remember, if I eat too much, I will get diabetes. Then we reduce. But in the spiritual world, there's nothing like diabetes. The water is nectar, it's sweet. You drink. No diabetic. There, as they are singing, when they are speaking, it looks as if they are singing. When they are speaking, it looks as if they are singing. That is why when we are reading our Sanskrit, we sing them. Because that is how it's being spoken in the spiritual world. They sing. When they are speaking, they sing. They look as if they are singing. When they are walking, it looks as if they are dancing. They're not walking like a very tired, dead body. No. When they are walking, it looks as if they are dancing. Very gracefully they are walking. It says even time never passes for one moment. The time is always at present. It never passes for one moment. Every tree in that abode is wish-fulfilling trees. Means that there is no seasonal fruits. You can get mango at wish, whatever you want. I wish I can have mango for Krishna today. You just see a mango without no seed. Juicy mango with no seed just fall on your hand. Boom. Just imagine having a mango without no seed. When you bite it, the liquid will splash on your face. You see? That is what happened in the kingdom of God. You can The apple is not sour, then you have to peel the back, it's very, no, it's very, everything is very tasty there. You see? So people cannot comprehend this spiritual dimension, a place where it's always present and never pass for a moment, and there's no future. Always at present, people cannot comprehend it. That's why it's very easy for them to clinch to impersonalism and mystic yoga. Only bhaktas, devotee of Krishna, understand this aspect of God. Only devotee of Krishna. Why? Because of the engaging in devotional service. That's what Papa mentioned in the purport. So this is a very, very special. So to come to the platform of Krishna consciousness, it's not a joke. It's all by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. That is why we should always appreciate it. Krishna is going to mention that in text 28. Let's continue reading. Okay, let's go to 27 now. Any comment or question or contribution? Okay, no question, no comments, no contribution. Let's continue. Isha Dushana Samuntena, Gandwa Mohena Bharata, Sarva Bhutani Sammoha, Sargayanti Parantapa. Yes, so Krishna continues, ocean of birth, all conqueror of the foe. All living entity are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. Okay, desire is the cause of all our problem. Desire, this duality. We are in the world of duality. So we are all born into delusion in this material world. And once we are born into this delusion in the material world, this world of duality, if you don't try to get out of it, everything gets more complicated. Let's read Prabhupada's purports.
Okay. The real constitutional position of living entity is that of subordination to the Supreme Lord, who is pure knowledge. When one is deluded into separation from this pure knowledge, he becomes controlled by the illusory energy and cannot understand the Supreme Personality of God. The illusory energy is manifested in the duality of desire and hate. Due to desire and hate, the ignorant person wants to become one with the Supreme Lord in base. Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God, pure devotees, who are not deluded or contaminated by desire and hate, can understand that Lord Sri Krishna appears by his eternal potencies. But those who are deluded by duality and nations think that the Supreme Personality of God is created by material energies. This is their misfortune. Such a deluded person symptomatically dwell in dualities of dishonor and honor, misery and happiness, woman and man, good and bad, pleasures and pain, etc., thinking, this is my wife, this is my house, I am the master of this house, I am the husband of this wife. They are the dualities of delusion. Those who are so deluded, the dualities are completely foolish and therefore cannot understand the Supreme Personality of God. Hare Krishna.
So once we are under this delusion of duality, very difficult for us to get out. Very difficult. And the duality gets complicated again and more and more. Like Prabhupada mentioned here, this is their misfortune. Such delusion systematically dwell in duality of honor and dishonor, happiness and distress, woman and man, good and bad, pleasure and this is my wife, this is my house, I am this, that, I am husband of this wife. So these are dualities. And it gets complicated more and more. This is what is going on in the material world. So because people become attached to this upadis, designations, they become attached to this designation. I am the master of all what I survey, and they fight very, very seriously to protect. Now the global world is on the brim of a world war now. So the body have to chant more and pray for the, for the war, because it's predicted that 2025 will be a war year. So there may be a world war in 2025. So the devotee has to pray more and chant more and pray to Krishna, so that this war will not happen, because there's so much complication going on in the world now. Because people are thinking, this is my house, this is my land, this is my property, don't come close. So this me and my duality delusion is affecting him even until that higher level of management. So that is why as a devotee, we have to understand that this material world is a place of dualities and it's a miserable place. And that is why we try as much as possible to rise above these dualities. We try as much as possible to rise above this duality by engaging in devotional service. That is the only way. When we engage in devotional service, gradually we rise beyond the dualities, like mentioned in Bhagavad Gita chapter 14, verse 26. When we engage in devotional service of feeling in all circumstances, then we transcend this duality. So we have to engage in devotional service unfailingly in all circumstances. Then gradually we can go, grow beyond this duality. If not, it's not very easy. We can see how much we are very attached to our body, especially, especially women, I've never seen before a woman without mirror in their purse. Never. Always there is mirror in the purse. There is always mirror in the purse. And I've never seen a woman passing in front of glass or car without looking at herself in the mirror and do like this. I've never seen. Very difficult. Am I telling lies?
It's true, it's true.
Yeah, thank you for approving that. I've never seen. I'm still looking. If you just watch, you see women passing beside the cars. Just be watching and remove your eyes. Almost 90% of them will look in the glass and try to do something and pass. Or when they're going, then when they feel like maybe their makeup is already getting rubbed off, then they bring a mirror in their bag. And then the other day I was in the jeepney and I saw one of these men who look like women, and she was fully colored. It was fully putting color in her eyes. She has a box for keeping the color eye.
Contact lenses?
Yeah, contact lenses. Yeah, she has a box with like water for preserving that. So she used one small thing like they pick it and do like this. And she was painting inside the jeepney. So this is how people are so much attached to the body. So much attached to the body. So because of this attachment, we are suffering greatly in this material world. We are suffering greatly in this material world. That is why by engaging in devotional service, we're not saying we should not take care of our body as a devotee. Mind me, please don't get it wrong. I'm not here to confuse you. I'm not here to tell you a practical thing. I'm not saying we should neglect our body, because if you neglect your body, then also you will suffer inside the body. Because when the body develops problem, you are inside the body, you will suffer. You see? So what I'm saying is that we should take care of the body so that we can use it for Krishna service. We should not take care of the body for sense gratification. We should take care of the body so that we can utilize the body in the service of Krishna. That is the purpose why we should take care of our body. Unlike the materialistic people who don't have this understanding of consciousness, who are taking care of the body only for sense gratification. That should not be our main purpose. That should not be our focus. So with right consciousness, the devotee should do exercise, should sleep enough, should eat what is necessary, and read every day to exercise your brain. So we should do the needful. We should do the needful. If you are a devotee and you don't do exercise, you eat, sleep, do service, eat, sleep. It's a matter of time you start becoming lazy. Because the exercise has a way of stretching your body, make you active. But if you just eat and sleep and do whatever service you are given to do, gradually you go into lazy mode. So that is why it's good as a devotee, we should try to stretch the body. We should stretch the body by doing some exercise because it's good for engaging in devotional service, in service of Krishna. Okay, let's go to the next verse. Any comment or question?
Prabhu, could I ask something?
Yeah.
Because we were talking about people being identified, right, with their gender. Like if you're a woman, you keep looking at yourself at any reflection. And so what if you make an excuse? Like for example, we fix ourselves, we make ourselves pretty because we want to look good for Krishna, or we're doing it to please Krishna. Is that good?
That is very good. That is the best.
Because I always say that, Prabhu. Whenever my mom tells me to, come on, hurry up, we gotta go. I always tell her that, well, I gotta look good for Krishna. So
very good. That is a very wonderful consciousness. Yeah. That is the consciousness of the gopis. Everything they do it for the pleasure of Krishna. Everything they do, they want to do it to please Krishna. That is the highest consciousness, actually. So we should take care of our body only because we want to please Krishna. That is the right consciousness. Thank you for that. Very nice. So the devotee should have the right consciousness. That is most important thing. That is why Prabhupada named this movement International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Your consciousness is what is most important in whatever you are doing in this movement. Your consciousness. Once you have a right consciousness, you will achieve success at the end. Once you don't get the consciousness right, if you like, you stay for 100 million years in this Hare Krishna, still you will not get it right. You remember that purport we read that day? Anybody remember that purport again?
was it being equipoised, Prabhu?
No, 272. Let's go to the purport again. 272. Okay.
One can attain Krishna consciousness or divine life at once within a second, or one may not attain such a state of life even after millions of births.
That is what I'm saying. When you have the right consciousness, you can attain the perfection of life at once. But if the right consciousness is not there, even if you are practicing for millions of births, still you will not get to them. You will not get the perfection. So having right consciousness is the most important thing in devotional service. Because Krishna is known as Bhavagrahi Janardana. What is the meaning of Bhavagrahi Janardana? Bhavagrahi Janardana means one who take the essence of your devotion. One who take the essence of whatever you are doing. He's not looking at the external. What is the motive behind what you are doing? That is Janardana. That is the meaning of Janardana. Bhavagrahi Janardana. Sorry, Bhavagrahi. That is the meaning of Bhavagrahi Janardana. one who takes the essence of your devotion. Okay, so consciousness is very, very important. Right consciousness. Okay, thank you very much for sharing that. So let's go to 28. Yesham tu atangatam papam janana punya karmanam te gandamo anirimokta bajante mam dida brata. Person who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful action are completely eradicated are free from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in devotional service with determination. So Krishna mentioned about the duality of delusion in the past verse. So who are those people who are free from this duality of delusion? Krishna is mentioning about them in this verse. Means that you must be pious for you to be free from this delusion. That's what I was saying that the other time. It's not easy to be free from this delusion. To think I'm not the body. It's not easy. Many people have been chanting this Hare Krishna for 50 years. Still, they have not completely realized that they are not this body. Still very difficult for them to act on the platform of not this body. Many people have been on this path for more than 50 years. Still, they cannot have strong faith that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not easy. That is why Krishna is saying here, you must be pious for you to have this such determination. To be free from this delusion, you must be pious. Let's read the purport.
Prabhu, I'll read, but Prabhu Ryan messaged you, Prabhu, in the chat.
Oh, what did he say?
Oh, Mother Angel.
The reception list called in my room and said that our transport service arrived to pick up. So join the
Yes,
ship.
Prabhu.
Thank you. Okay, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
He already left.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, I'll read. Purport. Those eligible for elevation to the transcendental position are mentioned in this verse. For those who are sinful, atheistic, foolish, and deceitful, it is very difficult to transcend the duality of desire and hate. Only those who have passed their lives in practicing the regulative principles of religion, who have acted piously, and who have conquered sinful reactions can accept devotional service and gradually rise to the pure knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then gradually they can meditate in trance on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the process of being situated on the spiritual platform. This elevation is possible in Krishna consciousness in the association of pure devotees. For in the association of great devotees, one can be delivered from delusion. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.2 that if one actually wants to be liberated, he must render service to the devotees. Mahat Shavam Dwaram Ahur Vimukte. But one who associates with materialistic people is on the path leading to the darkest region of existence. Tamo Dwaram Vimuktam Sangi Sangam. All the devotees of the Lord traverse this earth just to recover the conditioned souls from their delusion. The impersonalists do not know that forgetting their constitutional position as subordinate to the Supreme Lord is the greatest violation of God's law. Unless one is reinstated in his own constitutional position, it is not possible to understand the Supreme Personality or to be fully engaged in his transcendental loving service with determination. Hare Krishna.
So, like Prabhupada said, in the beginning of the purport, he said, those eligible for elevation to the transcendental position are mentioned in this verse. For those who are sinful, atheistic, foolish, and deceitful, it is very difficult to transcend this duality of desire and hate. So Krishna, Prabhupada is saying here, is referring to those four kinds of people who will not surrender to Krishna. We remember the four kinds of people who do not surrender to Krishna. Krishna mentioned earlier on. So Prabhupada is referring to those people here. And he said, only those who have passed their life in practicing the regulated principle of religion, who have acted piously, and who have conquered sinful reaction can accept devotional service and gradually rise to the pure knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then gradually they can meditate in trance on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the process of being situated on the platform. This elevation is possible in Krishna consciousness, in the association of devotees. So association of devotee is very, very important. Like I was discussing that day when Mother Nikki Niharika, asked a question about somebody who is losing faith in everything material, but he doesn't want to stay in the temple, he doesn't want to do this. Then I was telling her there is no alternative. If you want to make spiritual advancements, you must associate with the bodies. That is the only way to make spiritual advancements. But you must select your association. Very important to select association. Cannot just say, okay, I have to associate with the body, then you start associating with anyone and everyone. No. You must select your association. Select people that will help you to make spiritual advancement, not people that will always drag you down, tell you, gossip with you about others, tell you how that devotee is like this, that devotee is like that. Avoid such association. Select association of people who will always encourage you, remind you of Krishna, encourage you to chant Krishna's name. So you should select your association. When you select your association, then you can make gradual spiritual progress. That is the only way we can be free from this duality of delusion that Krishna mentioned here. Prabhupada explained very nicely in the purport. The only way to be free from these dualities of delusion, of desire and hate, is to try to become pious by associating with devotees. With great devotees. Papa mentioned there is a great devotees. Papa used 2 times in his says, not just any devotee. He said pure devotee the first time, and the second time he said great devotee. You know, when you look at the purport, you see that. You see, he didn't just say any devotee. That's why you see also Prabhupada also sometimes when you look at Prabhupada's purport, Prabhupada will say, we have to engage in devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Because you may be engaging in devotional service, but not in Krishna consciousness. That is why you always added that. Engage in devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Very, very important. The same thing always mentioned also, engage in the association of a pure devotee. And I associate with great devotees, pure devotees. There are so many devotees, but associate with pure devotees and great devotees. Means that you should select your association. When you select your association, then you can make progress in spiritual life. If not, you can remain stagnant or static for many, many years in the spiritual life. And there's nothing like static position. Actually, the so-called static position is retrogressing. You are going back, unknown to you. Because if you are not making advancements, you'll be going backward. It's very simple. So that is why, as a devotee, let us select our association. You are not doing bad by selecting association. You are just being conscious of the purpose of why you are where you are. You are being conscious of that. Not be, I want to show everybody I'm very nice. You associate with everyone and everyone. You want to laugh with everyone and everyone. Before you know, you'll be losing yourself. And you don't know what is going on with your own life. You see many people, they come, they laugh with everyone, but inside they are dying. They just need to open up to you like this. You can see how they are dying inside. They are dying. So don't fake it. Don't pretend. Select your association. Then you will be happy. I've seen many devotees who pretend a lot. Only little thing they will just explode. Boom! Oh, then you can see the real inside. Just little thing will happen, they will explode. You see them, they will be smiling, joking with everyone, but inside they are really burning with anger. So we should not pretend. You are not committing offenses by selecting your association also. You are not committing offenses. That is what Srila Rupa Goswami told us in Nectar of Instruction, if we remember very clearly. So we should select our association, then we can make steady progress on this part of spiritual life. Any comments or question?
Prabhu, can I ask something not related to the topic tonight?
Is that what?
Can I ask something not related to the verses tonight?
No.
It's about...
Why? Let us hear you.
Oh, because I was looking at the deities yesterday, and I remember seeing Krishna with the... What do you call that? The one in your forehead?
Peacock.
Hmm?
What is that?
The mark in your forehead.
The tilak.
Yeah, the tilak. Krishna has one, but the deity of Radha doesn't have one. Why?
Radha doesn't wear tilak.
Why, Prabhu?
Because Radharani, she's a devotee, she's the topmost devotee of Krishna. So she doesn't wear tilak. Krishna, we wear tilak because we are how do you call it, Vaishnavas. We are devotee of Krishna, but we are called Vaishnava, means devotee of Vishnu. You understand? So, but Radha doesn't wear tilak. Radha wears dots. She herself, she's Bhakti personified. You know, so I've not seen any scriptural explanation of that, but she doesn't wear tilak.
Okay, Prabhu, if you ever find the explanation for it from the scriptures, please tell us.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. But and the devotee also, sometimes one devotee, I remember one devotee, one Mataji, she was always putting dots on her forehead. So I was asking her, they will put tilak, then they will put dots on their forehead. And I was asking her, what is the meaning of this? Well, how do you come across this? Because people, when they go to India, they see what is there in India and they just learn. They don't even ask questions also. You see? So because we are devotee, we only put tilak. We don't put tilak and then put dots inside the tilak. Nah. We don't do that. In India, the women, they put kukum, the red, on their hair like this. A married woman. That's how you know a married woman in India. They put kukum on their head, in front of their head. It's to protect their husband. Isn't Mother Tripura, is it correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. We call it as sindoor. Yeah, the kumkum.
Why the women put it in India? Tell us.
It shows they are married and it's for the protection of husband.
Yeah.
You said it right, yeah.
Oh, okay. So they put that. But I've never seen like putting these dots. So I was asking the devotee, why do you put the dots? So I was just saying, you see, we are high in the position of Shrimati Radharani because we always see Shrimati Radharani putting dots. So instead of us to become the devotee of Krishna, now one of the putting dots like Shrimati Radharani and at the same time put tilak. Prabhupada never taught us this. Prabhupada taught us how to put tilak. As a Vaishnava and Vaishnavi, you put tilak, not putting tilak and applying dots in the middle, no. That is not our process. So, but why Shrimati Radharani doesn't wear tilak? I'll find out and we will talk about it, okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Any other comments, question? No
Prabhu,
question?
can I ask one more thing?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Because you were talking about earlier, like you shouldn't really be attached to designations, right? So you shouldn't call your wife. Like, you shouldn't be like, "This is my wife. This is my house." So I've heard stories of some Prabhus who get into the movement, the Hare Krishna movement, and then they have wives, right? Legal wives, and then they would make an excuse like, "I want to join the Hare Krishna, so I want to leave my wife, and then maybe if I join, I'm gonna find a new one." Those kind of things, right? Because we are trying to be taught that you shouldn't be attached to your partner. And so some people, some devotees, or should we call them devotees, use that as an excuse, right? To
Yeah.
leave the responsibility, to find a new one, find a new partner. I mean, what should we do about that? Like, do we tell them what they should do? Or,
It says when people come to Krishna consciousness and they are married before, and their former wife doesn't want to follow them. Generally, when I meet that kind of people, I don't encourage them to leave their wife. You know, I always encourage them to behave in such a way that the woman can understand what they are doing. It may take some time, but I always encourage them like that. But sometimes if the woman become very offensive and become, if she become very offensive and not tolerant to whatever the man is practicing, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. Because some women are just very offensive. You know, it's either you follow them or you leave them. Some women are like that. It's either you follow me or you leave me. You know, you cannot be with me at the same time you don't want to follow me. Some women are like that.
but it's so messy, Prabhu, in the Philippines, because there's no divorce here.
Yeah, there's no divorce here. I was talking to one devotee the other day. I said it's a very weird policy. Very weird. You know, you have so many single moms here and there. So
It's
many
because of
them.
the church. They're against it, Prabhu.
That's what I'm
Catholic
saying.
Church.
That's what I'm saying. But it makes the country so it made the policy make the country so weird. Even where the church is coming from, there's no such policy like that. The church is coming from Europe. They don't have such policy. A woman doesn't like a man, divorce, go your ways. Now you have so many single moms. And the single mom, if you ask them why do they leave their husband, I was telling this devotee. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not encouraging cheating, but I'm telling you something to think about. It's like this. Let's think about it. A woman leave a man because he cheats on her. Are you hearing me? You leave a man because he cheats on you. Then after you left that man, you start going about and having illicit connection with married men. Then what is that? That is hypocrite. I don't know, maybe you are getting my point. Do you understand my points?
Yes, Prabhu.
A woman left a man because they say the man is cheating on her. Then now you are going to cheat with other people's men. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to create the same situation that has The same, whatever has happened to your life, you are trying to create that for others also.
I think she wants to revenge to her husband. Maybe like that.
I don't think it's revenge because they're not together. I don't know, maybe you're getting my points. They're not together.
I know someone similar like that, Prabhu. They revenge to each other, to hurt each other.
Right? See, revenge is okay. You didn't get my points. I want to make sure you get my points. Revenge is okay. Okay, you cannot tolerate. You want to revenge and feel okay. It's okay if you can want to revenge. That is your problem. What I'm trying to say is like this. It's like this. A woman left a man. Say, I don't want to stay with this man because he cheated on me. Okay? Immediately you separated from that man because he cheated on you. You start going about to have illicit connection with other people's men.
So it's hypocritical.
Thank you. You got the points. Now you got my points. Okay, if you say the man cheat on you and you keep to yourself and look for another man who will not cheat, it's okay. It's nice. That is okay. But you left that man and you start going around to cheat with other men, it means that the person is hypocrite. So you have so many single men in the country. You have so many single men in the country who going around ruin other people's marriages also. So better the government sit down and think about the policy. You see? And let people live in peace. You understand? Okay, there's no marriage and there's no divorce, but they cannot stay together again. Then the man go his own way, the woman go her own way, and the government is taking care of the children. So what is the use of that policy? It's useless. It's a useless policy, actually. Because they cannot stay together again. They are not staying together. So you have so many single mom around everywhere. Yeah, Peter Prabhu, you asked what's up. What do you want to tell us?
Prabhu, it was already answered that she can look for another man that is not married.
What was the answer?
That she can find another man who is not married.
Yes. Yes. Okay, if somebody cheats on you, you leave that person, and you just keep yourself. You don't go around and do nonsense. It means that you left that man because you want to prostitute. That is the main reason. To go around, cheating around, So the policy is not a very good one because it makes people to have so many single moms around here and they are not diverse. It's very difficult. And so people don't want to stay together. You cannot force them to stay together anyway. So the whole thing is messy, So they should reform the policy. Even in Europe, where the church is coming from, I don't think they have the same. I don't think they have this policy there. They don't have the policy there.
Only Rome, Prabhu.
Only in Rome.
And Philippines. It's us. It's us too.
Oh, only Rome. Okay, then it means that Philippines is following Rome back to back. It's okay then. It's okay, but in every other country, like in my country, if you want to divorce if you have problem, you want to divorce, the court will tell you to go for 1 year. Two of you should go 1 year your ways and think about it, whether you want to reconcile or you still want to divorce. Then after 1 year, you can come to the court to divorce like this. So the major reason of so much divorce in the society nowadays is because of women, mixing with so many men before marriage. When women mix with so many men before marriage, they are going to have problem in marriage. Mostly, generally, not all, but generally. Because why? Why is it like that? Sorry, we are taking time, but we will finish very soon. Why is it like that? A woman, he goes, he have union with this man, he have union with this man, he have union with this man. Now he wants to marry another man. All the memory of all the man he has to have union with will be in her head. Tell me how she will remain with one man. Very difficult. That is why you see Indian culture is still, apart from those of the Indians who are like in the Western world, but in India, the culture is still very much preserved. The family arrange, the husband and wife, they meet themselves, and sometimes the man must be the first person that the woman is meeting in her life. So no matter what happens, it's the only man she has experienced in her life. She doesn't have anything to compare. She can tolerate. She can tolerate. Easy to tolerate that situation. But when you have mixed with so many men, you start comparing in your mind. Oh, that guy was so nice to me. It was not like this. This guy is like this. You start comparing. Then you cannot tolerate. The any little thing, I want to go my way. I'm not happy in this marriage. Because so many comparisons in the mind. So that is why the olden day culture was the best culture for marriage. The woman meets the husband is going to marry only first time. Even in Vedic culture, it's even more advanced. You know how they do it in Vedic culture? In Vedic culture, when the girl is at the age of 12 years, and the boy is already like 16 or 17, they're already introducing themselves. Like the family of the girl and the boy, they already, connecting them together. So they start relating like friends, young friends. But there is no any intimate relationship. No intimate relationship. They come together, they play, they do things together, they know themselves, but no intimate relationship. They are like friends at that age until when they reach maturity before they marry them. So this culture are the culture that people were following before. Even in Africa, also the same culture we are following. That same culture. There is one particular, let me tell you this one, we will stop. When it comes to this kind of marriage discussion, I don't know how to stop. There's one culture in Nigeria. There's one culture in Nigeria. If you want to marry a woman, all the strong men in that society, they will come together. They will bring you and they will lie you down. Are you hearing me?
Yes,
they will lie
Prabhu.
you down. They will bring you and lie you down, and they will cane you. They will cane you. Cane. They will cane you. And yes, they will cane you, and you must not cry. When you cry, you are not mature to marry. If you cry, you are not mature to marry. You understand? I don't know, maybe did you get my points? Are you getting my points?
Is that legal, Prabhu?
The culture. The culture. They will cane the man. The man must not cry. If he cries, he's not mature to marry. Because when you go into marriage, the woman is going to torture you also. Sorry for saying that. So if you cannot tolerate, If you cannot tolerate the Kenny, how will you tolerate a woman?
We're not monsters, Prabhu.
I'm not saying you're monsters. I'm just saying, see, women behave with acts, emotion. Men behave with logic, intelligence. You understand? So it's a two paradigm. Someone behave with arts, the other one behave with logic. The two paradigm, for them to come together, there have to be a lot of tolerance. That is why there's so many divorces today, because tolerance is very, very low. So if you cannot tolerate, don't marry. That is what I'm trying to say. That is what that culture is trying to tell. If you cannot tolerate, don't marry. Don't get married. You cannot tolerate women dramas. Women, they have drama, a lot of drama. I know. I'm not saying you are monster, but women, they have dramas. I have to say it to your face, you know. Women, they have a lot of dramas. If you cannot tolerate the dramas, don't get married. That is the point in that culture. Okay? So here you see so many things happen. A little thing, people go their way. That's why you have so many single moms. Then the government have to take care of all the children. Then the children will grow up without no proper love of father and mother. Then makes the society to be very, very, sometimes, very difficult. So it's not easy. It's not easy. But Krishna consciousness is to teach us on these principles. When we understand this principle, we prepare our mind. We prepare our mind as a devotees, so that in the future, when we enter into the ashram, when you get married, or those who are married now, you try to make, you create a peaceful environment for your man. A man likes to stay in a peaceful environment. When you always nagging and giving trouble to the man, then the man, become disturbed, and so many things come from that relationship. So another day we'll talk about relationship. Sorry for diverting because of your question. We have to divert a little bit, but it's all right. But that will be a topic for another day. Thank you very much. Okay, Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for coming. So we'll continue from where we stopped today. We continue from 29 tomorrow.
No, tomorrow probably it's Tuesday.
Tomorrow is Tuesday. 30 minutes.
Yes, 30 minutes. All right.
We'll do for 30 minutes. Yes. Yes, tomorrow. Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.